Good morning, writers of the land. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base briefly. This is our second week and kind of show you some of the books that we're reading from, because I love having visuals of books, so I thought you might enjoy that too. And just say hello and connect. So one of the pieces that we're reading this week is from this book, Elizabeth George, Right Away. And Elizabeth George, some of you may have read her mysteries set in England. I tend to inhale them. And while this is, what's it called? One novelist's approach to fiction in the writing life. And so while she is a fiction writer, I use so many of what she shares in here, both in fiction and nonfiction. And the piece that we're reading this week is how to turn, how to turn turning places into settings. So this is what we're reading this week. A number of you are photographers, and even if not photographers, I think many of us do take photos, and she really lays out how do you turn these photos and how do you turn real places into setting. And so we're reading from Elizabeth George. We are also reading from Paige Lambert's In Search of Kinship. And I'm actually having coffee with Paige this afternoon. I'm thrilled. But this, notice, and I think I said something in the writing prompt about, notice how Paige uses the land to weave as a kind of a grounding place between, to tie together past, present, musings. She does this very skillfully, and so notice what she does. And I mentioned in the writing prompt, just kind of share some of those specifics that you notice. There's some real specific transitions, some real specific ways that the land indicates, this week we're really looking at emotion, that the land indicates emotion. So, Paige. Okay, and another one we're looking at is Isabel Allende, and we heard from her last week. And this is her My Invented Country, A Nostalgic Journey Through Chile. And this is nonfiction. She writes both fiction and nonfiction. She does just an incredible job of providing the reader through clues from the land, through clues of context, through clues of history, that sets the scene and indicates the emotions not only of that time and place, but and of the writer, but in my experience, it also connects with us as the reader emotionally. So take a look at how she does that. So we're reading from scenes set in Wyoming, set in Chile, and set in England. And so there's a variety of different landscapes. And these writers use some real specific, not tools, just some real specific ways of grounding the reader in the land to convey emotion. And then the other one that we're reading from is from this book, Creative Nonfiction, Writing Creative Nonfiction, edited by Carolyn Forche and Philip Gerard. And this is the one, A Braided Heart, Shaping the Lyric Essay. I love this piece. I feel this piece takes what can feel very abstract and makes it concrete. And it also, things that look very natural and fluid, there's real craft that goes into that behind the scenes. And I just think this essay just does a brilliant job of really laying that out in a way that's very approachable, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading this. At the end of this chapter, there are some exercises. There are 3. You're welcome to do all 3 if you'd like. And I really encourage you to at least select one and dive in. A number of you have written about clustering and the freedom that it brings, and as I said, for me, when I discovered clustering, it was transformational. I mean, all that horrible, which I guess it works, it works for some people. In my experience, linear planned, prescribed. They absolutely did not work for me in my writing. That some of you with the clustering are experiencing that same sense of freedom, that same sense of intuition, of writing from an intuitive place, from a circular place, from a wild place, because you never know where you're going to end up with clustering, and a number of you have spoken about that. I had no idea that that we were going to end up here, and that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. It turns writing into this adventure that I'm along for the ride, and it's I'm always curious where we're going to end up, and then you come in and edit later. But if you don't kind of allow your writing to go wherever it may take you initially, there's not, at least in my experience, the editing is working with material that is not nearly as rich as that which comes from clustering. So enjoy, enjoy. I just wanted to say hello and good morning, and I shall see you in class.